Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back. So here is my Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 finale death predictions. I know the episode is out now, so you guys are likely going to be commenting down below who died and who didn't and etc. But I haven't watched it yet. The plan is I'm going to post this video. I'm going to go do my live commentary reaction video and stuff like that. And so if you are a member of the channel, you will see my reaction to the final episode. I'm going to post that today. And so, yeah, if you'd like to see that, maybe consider joining the channel. But I'm going to do that video and then afterwards post a non-spoiler review and talk about what I got right and etc. I'll also talk about that, obviously, in the commentary track video. But I have a list here of people that I do think are going to go most likely, at least looking at where everyone is based off of the trailer. And I haven't seen any spoilers yet so far. I know people are sending me links constantly to like episodes and like to be able to watch it, and people are trying to send me spoilers and stuff. I just completely ignore it because I don't want to see that, right? Like I don't want to see that. So first, I guess I should warn you that this will contain spoilers for episode 15, obviously not 16. I haven't watched it yet. And if you are new to the channel and you want more Fear the Walking Dead or The Walking Dead content, make sure to be a subscriber, especially if that trailer is coming out this Sunday. If it comes out this Sunday or there's any kind of teaser, anything regarding the Walking Dead's final season, definitely subscribe if you want my Walking Dead content. Going forward, we will talk about season 7 next week, obviously, but the big thing is we're going to start shifting gears to the Walking Dead final season, because that is coming out in 2 months now. That is where we're going to primarily focus, or that's what I'm going to focus on primarily anyways for the next 2 months, is the Walking Dead final season. Because I know a lot of people have been wanting me to do more videos. I've been seeing that in the comments a lot. People want me to cover the Walking Dead and not really Fear the Walking Dead, but that's just kind of, there is some stuff that I want to talk about with the final season, like specific storylines, things I think could happen, and just like go into certain characters, like where do I see this character going in the final season, and etc. And we'll get to that. We definitely will get to that. But Fear the Walking Dead's on right now, and the show's just been so good, so that's why I've just been focusing on that. Anyways, a lot of stuff to come in the next 2 months, but first let's just focus on my death predictions here. So out of the 3 characters, at least the 3 villains of the show right now, I have these 3 characters dying in the finale, which is Teddy, Riley, and Dakota. I think Teddy's going to die just because I think it makes sense. I think it makes perfect sense for this character to die in this season, because because those missiles are going off and what they're planning to do next and all the storyline with the bunker and all that, there's no way he can survive. Like if he goes back there, he's done. Like he's going to die in this finale. But I think things could be different though in how he dies. Like maybe Riley or Dakota kills him, right? That's where things could be a little different. I'm not thinking Riley is going to, just because Riley, we saw him with, I don't know if his name's Rolly or whatever. We saw him with that group. Dakota is with Teddy, so maybe Dakota does it. But also, like, you gotta wonder, is John Dorie Sr. going to meet up with him at any point in the series? Because he hasn't yet. And isn't that the reason why he was brought in? Like, you kind of want to have a scene between them, like you would think. So maybe in the end it's him. I have no idea, but I do think Teddy's going to die. Riley also was going to die, and the reason why I think that is just because I don't think there's a way he can survive, really, just with where the story is going. And if he went back into the bunker, everyone would kill him right away. He'd be like, there's just no way this guy is going to live. I think he's going to die. And same with Dakota. I think she's going to die because of the fact that I don't know what you do with the character going forward now. I do think at some point in this episode she might switch, because in episode 15 she seemed like she was very unsure with her allegiance, I guess you would say, to Teddy. She was very unsure about everything. She thought she was making the wrong decision, etc. And obviously she is. I think she's going to start to wake up a little bit in this episode, but I do think it's most likely going to be too late. It just feels like that's where they're going with the character. Like there's this shot here of Teddy and Dakota. They're like holding hands or whatever, looking at where this missile's likely going to drop. And I have a feeling this takes place in the first half of the episode. There's no way they're just going to be standing there looking over. And I mentioned this in my trailer breakdown last weekend, but there's no way that this is how the story ends for Teddy and for Dakota. If they're together here alone, there's no way they just stand there, they go out, the explosion takes them out. There's going to be some kind of conflict or drama here. Maybe June shows up with John Dorie Sr. and Daniel and all of them. Maybe they all run into them. I just think it makes sense. And maybe Dakota does just kind of go out happily. Maybe they just hold hands the whole episode, and then the explosion goes off, and then they just kind of smile, she cries, and then the explosion happens. I have no idea. Now, this other group here with Daniel and everyone, I do have this on the list here, and this is kind of a bold prediction. First of all, I think that Rolly person could probably die, and the reason why I think that is just because he kind of came in out of nowhere this season. I could easily see him being killed off. He didn't really have much to do at all this season. He was brought in, people were like, oh, he's back, but he didn't really do much this season. He's just kind of part of this group. I think you could kill him off, so maybe he dies by the explosion. I think that woman, I don't know what her name is. I think that woman with the baby could potentially die. And I was thinking, like, what if that baby goes to Morgan and Grace, right? Because it's kind of weird, and I noticed it in episode 15's trailer. Like, so that was after we watched episode 14. This woman and her baby came out of nowhere. I literally don't even recognize her. And it was just so weird that she and her baby followed all of them to the submarine. Like, it makes no sense. And so that's why I'm thinking maybe they're going to kill her off here. She dies, and the baby goes to Morgan and Grace. Just because Grace also lost her baby. It feels like that was kind of foreshadowing, so I'm going to throw that out there. And then here I have Dwight or Sherry. Now, could one of these two characters die? Yes, definitely. And it's so hard to say. It's really hard to say if one of them are going to die. Like, could Dwight or Sherry die? Definitely. Dwight or Sherry could die. And I think Dwight, maybe. But then again, there's so much untold story there between him and Negan. So I don't know if you can kill Dwight off. And ignoring the crying poster theory, I know that theory seems legit because of everything that's happened so far. I don't think it makes any sense. I think it would be a bold decision, and I think you're sacrificing a lot of story. It's kind of like with Carl. You kill Carl off in that moment, it's dramatic and whatever, but you're missing so much future potential. There's so much story that you could have done if Carl was alive, and then they just threw that out the door for a big moment, a big shocking moment. And so I just don't. I think killing Dwight off is the same thing. It doesn't mean that they're not going to do it. I just think that I don't know what they're going to do with that. Maybe they do. Maybe that's the big shocking death of the finale. But I just think that it probably would be the wrong decision. And if Sherry would go or Sherry dies, then I could see Sherry going. Definitely. Like, she came in this season. They fixed their relationship up recently. I could definitely see her going. So we'll have to wait and see. As for who else is going to go, I don't really know who else can die. Like, Strand, it looks like in the trailer he went way out on his own, so I think he's safe enough from the blast. I think he's just gonna. We'll see if he comes back or not. I don't think he's going to die at Strand. Alicia, she's safe in that bunker, so I don't think she's going to die either. She's probably going to try to alert them somehow. And then we have Morgan. Morgan and Grace, I definitely don't see dying at all. There's just no way that they're going to die. And so, like, Daniel, everyone else, Luciana could go, but I don't see it. There's Wes. I don't see them all going. And so that's kind of my death predictions. Is realistically, that's kind of how I see it ending. And I don't really know what to expect from this final episode. That's why I'm really excited to watch it right away. But I just think that they're all going to deal with, what do they do next? And then by the end, I hope there's some clear answers. I hope it doesn't end on a cliffhanger or anything like that. And there is some setup for the future and what they plan to do here, because I think that could be really exciting. But we'll have to wait and see. So to wrap up my death predictions here, basically it's Teddy, Riley, Dakota, Rolly, that woman with the baby that I think potentially the baby could go to Morgan and Grace afterwards, although I don't know how that would happen, because somehow that baby, I don't know where she is anyway, so we'll have to see where she is with everyone. Dwight or Sherry is kind of a toss-up, but any of them could go. I think Dwight would be the wrong choice. If I had to choose who I would prefer to die out of those two, I would pick Sherry. But I also don't know if you want to make the decision. So that's really all I chose so far. I don't think that's a lot. I think you probably could kill someone else off. And I mean, there are other characters I'm not listing on here because I don't know their names. That's like, they're side characters that are kind of around. I just think like my biggest thing is I want to see someone die from the explosion. I think if you're going to have this explosion take place, you want to see someone go out with the explosion where you just see them, I don't know, just like melt away. Like, you want to see that. I keep picturing like Dwight going into a cellar or something, and then the cellar's, it's because I watched Twisted the other day, but he's going into the cellar and the explosion's just a lot. The wind is nuts, and the flash and everything, it just like kind of burns him, and then he just kind of goes away, right? Like, that's what I keep picturing in this finale. I don't know if we'll get that or not, but I want to see that. If I don't see that, I'm definitely disappointed, because so far with this explosion anyways, it just went off, so we'll have to wait and see. But I want the cinematics and the visuals to be there. I want to see all this shit go off. And yeah, so far these are my death predictions, so we'll see what I got right. Honestly, my death predictions they're not that out there, to be honest. Like, I think a lot of you guys could have probably picked this too. Like, Dwight or Sherry, I'm still very unsure on, and one of them could go for sure, but besides them, everyone else, I feel like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. They're side characters. Or Teddy, Riley, and Dakota, it also makes sense their story would end here. So maybe I should have went a little more bold and just said, oh, I think Grace is going to die or something like that. But for now, I just think that's probably going to be it. I'll stay safe with that, and we'll see what I got right. So I'll go watch the episode now. I'll post my reaction for members of the channel. So if you do want to become a member, I recommend doing it now. And I also do want to note that for next month for members, because we're not going to have any Walking Dead content next month. What I'm going to do is actually rewatch older episodes, and so I'll post my commentary tracks for that. I think the one I might do was Rick's final episode, because I think that'd be a lot of fun. I'll do 2 episodes next month, like I always do every month. Anyways, I'm going to leave it here. Post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.